What I wanted to share with you today. This is a photo that I just think is so beautiful. I just love her. I think her whole family is just a gorgeous little family. What struck me the most when I saw this photo was how out of place she looks. I mean, again, I just want to say up front, this is all speculation on my part. Let me tell you what we know about this photo. What we know is that she was originally from Oklahoma and she moved to California. We know that Dorothea Lange in the Great Depression took this photo and that it was in the 19, I know that kind of looks like an 8, but it could be 1938. So we'll go with that. And that she, and that's it. That's all we know about this photo is that she was in California from Oklahoma. But I think she's so beautiful. I think she's stunning. She just doesn't look like she fits in the location that she's in. So let's talk about a couple of things that just jump out at me. And then feel free to tell me what you think about as well in the comment section. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this. But first about her hair, I just love her haircut. I mean, I think it's like fashionable. To me, I'm thinking like she belongs in California, but not in the way that she probably thought she was going to be there. And then her dress really stands out as well. And some of these, this has got a neat little tuck right there. I think, I wonder if this dress is a hand-me-down or I don't think she made it. And I'll tell you why. Because right through here, there's some weird little puckering going on. So to me, that makes me think that she has pinned this in some way. And then right here, where that dress doesn't hang right there. I mean, maybe go right there. Doesn't hang right. That makes me think that she may have this pinned up in a way because you see it going here. And if she had bought this like from the Sears catalog or something like that, it wouldn't fit like that. So either way, and speaking of Sears catalog, I am going to have a couple of dress images from the 1933 Sears catalog at the end of this video, and we're going to look at maybe again what this dress would have looked like, what the baby's dress, and then this little tog. So make sure you stay to the end to see that. But another thing that just really, and I just love this on all of them, I don't know why, is the shoes. I just get so into the shoes and how different, they were for the time period. But hers really jumps out at me. The first thing is the color. These are not like black brogans or black. Sometimes you'll see like a black shoe that they were working in the field and it'll be kind of a industrial type shoe. That is not this situation. It's clearly white or cream or tan. To me right here, it has a contrasting toe color, but they're still light. You can definitely tell this is not a black shoe. For instance, this is a black shoe, here, and this is a totally not appropriate shoe for the fields, right? And then we get right here that it's a heel. Here and here we see that you've got this heel. I don't know how these women worked in these shoes without their feet killing them. But also the tie. So this little decorative tie, it's not a shoestring. This is kind of a fancy little decorative tie on the top. So I am just fascinated with this whole shoe. I do not think this is something that, she didn't have this shoe and intend on working in the fields. That's not what I get from this at all. So that's just fascinating to me. I think she looks beautiful in her dress and her shoes, but it's so clear that they are not meant for where she's standing. So let's look at baby over here, baby number 2, and she's got on a cute little dress. I'm going to pick one out from the Sears catalog and see if we can see how much that dress might have cost back in the day. And she's also got some super cute little black sandals, and these are more appropriate for the time period to be running around in. And I'm sure they kept her feet kind of nice and cool. One thing that jumps out about me with this dress, you see these little dresses in the Sears catalog, but they're usually coming down a little lower. You know, I'm thinking that she's like grown out of this dress, and you can see like a little diaper possibly hanging out here. So I'm thinking she's kind of been wearing this a while, or it might have been sister's dress, and this is just what she's got for the moment. But normally they're just a little bit longer. They're still baby doll, but this one is super short for her. And then love the cute little blonde hair you got going on there. She's just cute as can be. And so is Big Sister. Now, Big Sister definitely has on more of what we're used to seeing out here in these depression pics. And you've got the heavy duty kind of overall that's going to wear for a good period of time where they're at. You know, this is going to be much more sturdy than what these two dresses are. And then you've got definitely, these are the shoes that we're more used to seeing in these depression pics, where they're just kind of get passed down. They kind of are used to being more for the area. So again, you look at this setup here, all three of these here, you know, you got what you would expect to see, a little more dressy for sure, maybe like I said, passed down from Big Sis, and then this is just such a different shoe for what I would expect to see. And we'll look at pictures later and we'll see definitely the more normal shoe. And then we've got baby number 3. We don't know if this is a boy or a girl, but here's what I'm thinking. See how the blanket ends right there? Now this could be blanket too, but I'm thinking it's a baby bonnet. I'm thinking she's got a little bonnet on her little baby because, you know, she wants it to look cute. She wants to look nice. You can tell that about her. And then also, you know, she's having her photo taken. So maybe they even dressed up for it. I'm sure when Dorothea Lange came into camps, there was a lot of, you know, hubbub about her being there. So we've got new little baby sister 3, or maybe a brother, but she's all wrapped up. I mean, she is bundled up, so she's not going to get any kind of sun damage there. And so let's just look back again. So we have this beautiful family, and then you've got this hovel here, you know, this shack that this family is living in, Assumption. And here's a screen door. We've got this screen door here, but you can see that there's some kind of writing going on behind this screen door. And I don't know if that's fabric or a poster or just what that shack was made out of. But, and then also there are tires here. So it makes me wonder if this was one of those auto towns where they kind of all end up living, because that's sort of where the car broke down situation. But here's this beautiful family and woman, and this is what, you know, they're living in. It's just devastating. It's just so hard to imagine. And then another thing that jumps out, of course, is the dirt. You know, you just see so much of that where it's just the dirt and it's dry and it doesn't look like anything's growing here. But back here, I don't know if she's farming this, you know, but you have a little bit of some farm land, and then right here is a horse. I don't know if those are hers or if that's just, you know, the backdrop to her life, but just doesn't look like much is going to grow there to me. But harsh, I know, it's just a harsh reality of what they went through in the Great Depression. But again, I just think she looks like she belongs in California. Beautiful, windblown hair. And speaking of windblown, I have got something for you. I have animated this photo, so we're going to see it come to life. So after you check out the Sears catalog, watch all the way to the end so that you can see this photo come to life. It's pretty cool. I love it, and I love doing it. All right. As promised, here is the 1933 Sears catalog, and it has some amazing stuff here. So let's take a look at a couple of things. First of all, these are what I would consider a baby doll dress. And so you can see here that they're different names and they're called different things. Here you have the Sweetheart Junior percale dress, the new 1 to 3 tot shot for the very youngest of the smart set. And these are Honey Sweets Junior frocks for lassies 1 to 3 years old. And then you've got what now, little man toddler suits. And another little set of dresses here. And like I said, the baby doll style is going to be short, but it's hitting them about, if we go over here and take let me get my pointer. If you take where it's hitting about the top of the thigh, not at the really short, like the little dress that the other little girl was wearing. And again, here you see it's about thigh length. So that's why I think that the other little girl might have been wearing a hand-me-down or might have been in something that she'd had for a long, long time. So what we have here with this percale dresses, we've got 2 for $1.15. We've got $1. And these were how much? Okay, well, these are 39, 39, and 29. And so my calculation of what that would cost in today's numbers. So let's say if we are looking at the 1933 prices for today, that is going to be about, we are adjusting for inflation, but my calculator says $9.57. So that was not necessarily a cheap dress for that time period. And this is 2 for $1.15. So it would be $28.23 for 2 of these dresses. So in 1933, $1, so let's just go with the dollar here, is $24.54. That seems like an awful lot. Okay, so then I want to come down here, and these are the outfits that I think would be more similar to what Big Sister was wearing. And it's considered a play suit, particularly something like this one. And it even says in the writing, it says that it's a play suit that's durable. So I'm sure that these got handed down for generations to generations. And, anyone who could wear them next wore them next. So, but that is just a little bit of the Sears catalog for the 2 outfits that the little girls were wearing. And so let's take a look at Mom. So this is what I found in the catalog. This is about the cheapest ones I could find. Most of the other dresses were more expensive than this. This was the cheapest dress that I saw at the time. So Sears famous guaranteed Busy Bee dresses, which I thought that was hilarious, and that's probably who they're aiming for, is someone who is working. And we have an all-time champion work dress, and that is 85 cents. That's some kind of guarantee certificate. And a VAT dye, absolutely color fast cotton broadcloth. But this is the one that you see so more often. It's this kind of apron dress. So I'm thinking that if she took the apron dress and, pinned it back, you would get something similar to this style of what she was wearing. It's just a guess. And then this is 59 cents. And 59 cents is not cheap for 1933. But I like this one too. A sanitarized, I don't even know what that means. A sanitarized color fast apron frock for 89 cents. So that's my guess for maybe what mom had on or what mom was wearing and was passed down. But even in this ad, you see that the shoes are black. Now here's a pair of shoes that's lighter. I could not find a light pair of shoes in that catalog. I'm going to keep working on it though. So again, just my speculation of maybe what those dresses and children's outfits would have cost back in 1933. So I have always enjoyed animating old photos, but they're usually my relatives and their vintage photos, and it's always been a lot of fun. But when I got the idea to do the Dorothea Lange photos, it just opened up a whole new world for me. Those photos are so meaningful and they're so impactful just from the emotion of the way she took them. She told the story of the Great Depression through the people that she photographed. So I want to take that same idea and maybe add a little bit more emotion, maybe a little bit motion to the photo. I hope you like it as much as I do, and let me know.